Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I am here with another little treat for you guys. This is the Order of Vampire Hunters, another one of my little guilty pleasures. You guys know that when it comes to me, if you've watched this channel before, I am very much into the Ameritrash miniatures, slay everything, dungeon crawl type games. It doesn't matter what they are, as long as they're little miniatures based games. I really do get into them, and Order of the Vampire Hunters has been out for a little bit. I've been painting away at the miniatures for a little while, and I finally got it ready to go. So I figured I would film a quick game for you all. I am going to do Core Space, which I have mentioned to you guys. I know a lot of you are wanting to see the next episode of that one. That is going to be done after this series is done. This one shouldn't take too long. Should be a few videos, and this scenario will be taken care of, and I'll still be working on Conflict of Heroes over there to finish up the game that we've got going on with that one. So pay attention for that coming up very soon. I've got some special stuff that I'm finishing setting up for Core Space, which is going to be huge. I wanted to get this done first though, because this is going to be quick. All right, so what is Order of the Vampire Hunters? All right, well, I mean, it's pretty easy to understand. You are a bunch of vampire hunters, like from John Carpenter's Vampires, and you go into these little covens, and your goal is to either wipe out all the vampires, or get a relic, or take out the elder vampire, you know, whatever the case may be, but you'll have a little handful of missions that you'll go through trying to take out the bad guys. So this first video, we're going to go over the basics of the game. We are going to start playing the game probably in this video because there's not a whole lot of basics that we have to go over. But if you just want to skip to the gameplay, skip forward a few minutes. I'll see if I remember to put a little timestamp down there at the bottom. But otherwise, let's go over the basics of it real quick. Looking at the map, which we can see here, the map is split into different areas. You can tell by the little lines drawn on there that show you that that's considered an area. We've got our little door tokens here. So this is one of our main entrances for this mission. And our other one is over here. I had to divide my forces up by two. I've got Billy Bob sitting over here. We'll show you guys here in just a sec. And two others over here. I know you're looking at this guy like, no, Gimpy, you've got three guys sitting there. Well, he is Pete the Extractor. He doesn't actually go in. I painted it up just because he looks freaking cool, but I had a little bad job with the wash. But anyway, he is just like from John Carpenter's Vampires, where they would drag the vampires out into the daylight to kill them. That's what this guy's deal is. So he stays on the outside, and your vampire hunters go in and jab them with the little harpoons and kill them. Now, of course, they've got other weapons that they're going to use too, but you guys will see him be used in the gameplay. Now, like I said, these are your areas, and then some of them, well, they all have numbers on them. Because when you reveal these little tokens here, these are called encounter tokens. You'll draw a card in. Very simply, it'll tell you what and how many or what types of vampires that you're going to spawn. And the number will tell you where they're going to spawn. So they'll either be on this side of the room, that side of the room, wherever they're going to be. These little tokens are spread all throughout the little coven area. And since in this mission, I'm doing mission number 2, that mission is to kill the den, right? So to wipe it out. So I'm going to have to explore the whole area. Unfortunately, with my guys starting on opposite sides of the house, which is a pain in the ass, I'm going to try to run them together real quick so I can keep them together and then go through and clear out the den. But the thing is, you are on a bit of a time limit. We'll get to that in just a second when we finish showing the map. Over here, this is just a small little room. But I do like how they include this tunnel, okay? So these tunnels, the way this works, this is split into 3 areas. They are connected to these tokens. So you got tunnel 1 here. That's supposed to be tunnel 2. I must have grabbed the wrong token, but it doesn't matter. They're all the same, effectively. There's just supposed to be 3 tunnels. So you got tunnel here, tunnel here, tunnel here. So let's say you've got a guy here. They can dip into the tunnel as an action. They'll appear over here. They can walk their way through the tunnel and then pop out somewhere else. So they're basically skirting through the underground caverns that the vampires have in these little covens, and they can pop out in different areas. So it's really cool that they included that little kind of off-map tunnel aspect. So it's not an instant, I go in here and then I instantly pop out there. You've got to spend some more movement points getting through these areas before you can pop up. But it can cut off a lot of distance or allow you to flank and get behind someone or do something cool, you know, just by popping around in different parts of the house. I really like how they have that aspect in there. These raised pieces are actually crates, and the token just signifies the fact that you can hide behind a crate as cover. So the vampires will have to kill the cover before they can kill you. And this one had the 3D terrain pieces. So I've got a couple of 3D piece terrains to use as the crates. But to remember that they do have stats, I've gone ahead and stacked the token on top of them so I can remember that when they aren't in the game. That's the basics that you have to worry about when it comes to the maps. Other than that, it's real simple. Line of sight is whether you can see it, right? You just got the areas. You can see one area on the other side of a doorway. You can't see through corners. So basically, as long as you're not looking through a wall or down into the tunnels, you know, things like that that would make real sense, or through a closed door, you can see it. So it's real simplistic when it comes to your line of sight and rules. This is a beer and pretzels, kill zombies, kill vampires type of game. All right, so here's our character dashboard. We'll touch on that here in just a sec. I wanted to point this out. Now, remember I was saying earlier there is a time limit that does come into play. That's where this gets into it, because when you start off, you always start out in the day because you want to, you know, kill those vampires, obviously, during the day. And the mission will tell you when you start, and then once it hits this awakening, that means all the vampires in the building automatically awaken, plus they go to their harder side. They have a day side where they're weakened, and then a night side. Now, there are some elder vampires that are very strong that doesn't matter if it's day or night, but the regular vampires that you're going to fight, they are weaker during the day. So each time you finish a round, you're going to tick this forward, and then once you finish this round number 6, you go into 7. That's when you're going to awaken any vampires that haven't been awakened, flip over all their cards, and have it really kick off. And then you'll have an end time limit, basically. Now, this is adjustable. The missions will tell you where to start these tokens. But if you want the mission to be easier, you can tick it back a notch. If you want it to be harder, you can tick it forward a notch. For me, this one was supposed to start on 4, but I decided to start on 3. It's been a while since I played this one. I wanted to ensure I didn't get potentially mauled, so I had time to finish it out for you guys. So I just ticked it back one notch. Play this first round on easy so you guys can be sure to see everything. But neat little night-day system. So you really want to try to gun through as quick as you can. Kill the vampires while they're weak before they tick over to their strong side. Now here we're looking at one of our character dashboards, and I'll show you the character dashboard for each person. So there are a slew of different hunters. Now the base game, I think, only comes with 4 hunters. Like I said, this was a Kickstarter. So if you had the Kickstarter stretch goals, then you got a bunch of extra hunters to go along with it. I didn't actually back this Kickstarter. I think I had missed it, but I ended up being able to buy it from a guy, and he ended up not wanting to sell it for a profit. He basically just sold it for cost, which was great because you guys all know how it is once a Kickstarter releases. If you don't back the Kickstarter that sells for $80 to $100 on Kickstarter, when it goes to eBay or somewhere like that, they want to charge $250, $300 for the damn thing, and it pisses you all the hell off. Anyway, looking at the card for your ID card, it's real easy. The top, that's how many health points you got. Lose all those, you die. Or you turn, because you can play to where your guys can turn in this game as well, which is kind of neat. Picture of your character. And then these are your stats, which is your faith, your intelligence, I think is what that one's called, and then your agility. There are events that will happen in the game that require you to test those skills, and how many dice you have next to them is how many dice you have to roll. So if you have a agility 3 test, that means you have to roll however many agility dice that you have, and one of them at least has to be a 3 or greater. For her, she would have a good chance of passing because she has 3 dice. But if she had to do a Faith 5 test, she would only have 1 die to get a 5 or better. So that'd be pretty hard. Down at the bottom of our card, see it says once per turn you may perform a free search action. Search is one of the things you can do as an action in this game. And for her, she gets to do that for free each turn, as long as obviously there's no like vampires around her or stuff like that. That's awesome. When it comes to games, I've always found that action economy is a good thing to have, you know, the extra chances to do things. So I took her for her free search action. It was hard narrowing it down. There were a lot of good hunters in the stretch goals to take, but I also liked her weapon, her axe. So each character also has their own special weapon. So it's not like you're picking through a bunch of different weapons for everyone. You see, this one has her name, Emma, on it as well. So everyone has their little special weapon that they use, which I like. They have Ash in this game, like from Evil Dead. He's in the game. And then there's Kane, which looks like Abraham Lincoln with his big axe. A lot of cool looking guys in there. So it's kind of hard to narrow it down. But you see with her, they generally, all the characters will have a close range and then a far range weapon. The base characters tend to have just stakes and crossbows. And I like the different weapons that came with the expansions. Here are the stats for the weapons. Real easy to understand. I'm betting just looking at it, you guys know what it is. Range, 0 means it can only be used in the area that you're in. The dice symbol, obviously, how many dice you roll. Target symbol, what number you need to hit to cause a hit. That's it. It's really easy to understand. So she rolls 2 dice at close range with this to use her shaft stake. And for each dice that she rolls, it's a 3 or higher, she scores a hit. She can spend these focus symbols. So you get focus for killing the vampires, and you can use that to use extra special abilities on not only your weapons, but other cards as well. With this one, she can ignore target shields, which is great. And then we see her long range is only up to range 1. So it's basically her using the long part of her axe to attack at a little bit farther range. And with that, she rolls 3 dice and needs 4 or better. There is no focus for her. Now, with this being a standalone gameplay for me, I got to draw 1 equipment card and 1 special ability card to go with each one of my characters. Generally, you can play this as a campaign and buy these in between with extra focus that you've accumulated. So if you got 5, 6, 7 focus left after a game, you don't just lose that focus if you're playing a campaign. You can actually use that as like currency to buy equipment. So this one, equipment card, I drew for her. She has a UV flashbang. That symbol there in the top right, that means it's discarded. So once she uses this, it's gone. The noise symbol obviously means it will wake up sleeping vampires, which you guys will see, especially during the day. When they spawn laying down. They are asleep. So if she uses this, it will wake up any vampires in her area. Thing is, this thing's explosive and it kills everything in her area, which is awesome. If I were to buy this, it would be 4 focus, range of 0 to 2, so she can like chuck it. 3 dice, hits on 2+. That's pretty sick, actually. 2+, really awesome there. So a little flashbang for her. And then she has the special ability, and you can see it says buy right there, so she can buy it if it's a campaign, and then the use cost. Immediately after a vampire attacks you, you make a free attack against the vampire, but it would cost her 3 focus to use that ability. So that's her. Oh, and one other thing when it comes to them, each of the vampire hunters, is this little token which represents their armor. So the first time you get hit, you're going to flip the armor over to its damage side. Next time you get hit, and it doesn't matter how many hits, right? So if the vampire swings and misses, it doesn't hurt your armor. But if you take at least 1 point of damage, the armor gets flipped over. If you take 10 points of damage in 1 hit, the armor just gets flipped over. So 1 to infinity will flip your armor and then destroy your armor. Once your armor's gone, that's when it actually starts going into your health pool itself. So that's why I've got these little tokens sitting over their health pool symbol to help remind myself that the armor does come into play. All right, so next guy is Billy Bob. I love Billy Bob. Billy Bob looks awesome. He has 9 health, so he's got a little bit more. Stats are about the same. When he activates, he may destroy a guardian, which is basically a dog, in his area for free. So that's just awesome. More action economy. He gets to kill enemies for free. He's got like stake mittens, punching, boxing gloves. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm brain farting out here. As his weapon, that is just freaking awesome for him. You can see here that, oh, here we go. Stake fist. That's what they're called. 4 dice, but only hits on 4+. He can increase the your attack gains +1 hit by spending focus, and then he's got stake launchers on them as well. Range of 1, rolling 5 dice, but again, only hitting on 5+. So he's not very accurate, but he rolls a lot of damn dice, and he can spend focus to re-roll some of those as well. So that is freaking awesome. His equipment thing is the UV strobe, and it's basically similar to what she has. It's a grenade that he can use only in his area. Roll 4 dice, hits on 3+. It's bang bang, so it'll hit everything in his area. And then he has the special ability of Eagle Eye, increase the maximum range of a ranged weapon by 1 for this attack. And it only cost him 1 focus to use that. I got lucky with this draw, because that increases his weapon range. He doesn't have a good range at only 1, but now I can bump that up to 2 if I need to and just start slinging the bolts out. So really cool. And our last character is one of my favorite looking ones. It's this ninja looking crossbow dude with his little eagle guy on him. So real cool guy. Don't know how to pronounce this. Akechita? Akechita? On a AK here. 8 health. Decent stats. Once per round, he can test his faith, which is his book symbol there. On a 5+, if he passes, he ignores an attack from a vampire, and he can do that once per round. So if he gets real lucky, he can just keep flat out ignoring attacks. That is just stinking awesome. He has the basic wooden stake as his main weapon, which is the one I was telling you that a lot of the main characters had. 2 dice, 3 attack, or 3 is the hit number. But he does have the power bow, which is really awesome. Up to 3 area range, 3 dice hitting on 4+, and then if he spends focus, Thunder the Eagle attacks, gaining 1 extra die. So he gets to send his eagle in to swoop in. He also has some, what is this? The Sonic Mask. Also a discard. Discard at any time vampires ignore you this vampire activation phase. So he can make vampires ignore him even more than normal. So if he's in a shady spot, he can pull this out to pull his ass out of the fire. And he got the Field Medic special ability. So he can spend 3 focus to heal 1 wound. That is awesome. He is also starting out with the Extractor card. Okay. This is what I was talking about with Mr. Pete here. So these guys are actually by this door. Yeah, not that window. So Mr. Pete can be by any opening, right? That's what I was mentioning earlier. And the way that works is whoever's carrying this, they're effectively holding a stake, a harpoon that has a line to it, and it's coming back to this guy, and it can be traced up to 5 areas long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get it all the way up to here, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get to there, or trace it along this way, whichever way he's going. Oh, there's no door there, so or here have to be this way. But regardless, he can trace it along up to 5 areas and drag the vampires out. Bad thing is it will wake any vampires. So let's say these vampires that were in this room were still asleep and it was used in this room to drag them out this way. It would wake all the vampires it went by, because obviously the vampire's going to be screaming as it's brought into God's light to burn viciously. Love it. So cool thing about him, he can be moved. So he could move over to this doorway, and that's the only 2 spots they start with, but they can open up more, because there are spots like these windows here that are boarded up, because obviously the vampires don't like sunlight, but you can attack it. You see it says 1 shield, 1 health. Basically, you cause 2 damage to it, because the shield will automatically ignore the first hit, or however many hits the shield says. So for this, we would need to do at least 2 hits worth of damage to to bust this open. But if this window busts open, every vampire in this room gets lit up and killed instantaneously, except for, I think, vampire lords. I don't think they would burn to death. They're immune to sunlight or something like that. But we're not going to have vampire lords in this. That's like a very, very end-game scenario. I think elders would die as well, though. So popping these off are a good idea. Plus, you could move old Pete to either one of these windows. There's one here, and there's another one over here. I think this one's too far away. Or actually, no, there's a door there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, or 5 there. It would get him over in this direction, which is probably where I'm going to be towards the end. So it might not be a bad idea to move Pete from there to there so he can help him on later on after I've cleared out some of these rooms. All right, I know I've been rambling a little bit. I'm trying to give you guys the basics. Let me grab a card for the enemy and show you guys real quick. Try to keep it out of the light. This is a guardian. You can see it's basically a dog. Shows their health, their range, their initiative. That determines obviously what order they go in, how many dice they roll for their attacks, and what number they need. They would have special abilities listed there. And then in the bottom right is the focus that they gain, or you gain when you kill them. Lit side, or the gold side here, is daytime, and then we can flip this over and bam, that's nighttime. They get dark. Stats didn't change too much, but you can see now he's got a special ability of Maul. For each 6 rolled in this guardian's attack, roll +1 dice. So he's basically got the exploding critical special ability now, so that can really add up. There's a bunch of different enemy cards over here. We'll see them as we pop the enemies out. Like I said, they're going to start on their day side, and then we'll flip them over to their night side as we get into that. And there is also, and this is one of the things that bothers me when it comes to these games, but I understand that they got to have them. It's just a pain in the ass because you need so much room for it, is all the stack of cards that you have to draw. Because you got your activation for the vampires for day. You got activation for night. You got your encounter cards. These are the ones that you're going to be drawing when you flip over one of these tokens, or reveal one of these tokens and open up the room. These are going to tell you what's in the room. So, I mean, you obviously got to have them, but it's a pain in the ass. Terror events. Some of the encounter cards will have terror events. They got bad things happen. Elder influence cards, which you have to draw when you're attacking an elder, which are more powerful vampires. Elder cards. There's only a couple that can be drawn on this one. Do not have any vampire lords in it. And I don't have the other vampire elders painted except for these 2, so we're just going to draw from these 2. This is a stack of cards that I've already set aside because I don't need. There are extra vampire activation cards and counter cards and all that type stuff. You're only going to draw so many of them because they are adjusted by difficulty. Like there's levels 1, 2, and 3 for all the different types here, and you're going to have so many 1s, so many 2s, so many 3s to determine the difficulty level. And that's something else you can adjust if you want to change the difficulty of your game. Have, more number 1s if you want an easier game, more number 3s if you want a harder game, obviously. And then of course we have our item deck, which does have some bad stuff in it. There are cards that cause cave-ins or vampires to spawn, but a lot of this has things like medical kits or thrown together weapons. You can jerry-rig a flamethrower or things like that out of the cards that you get in this deck, and that's where that search action comes in handy that she gets for free. Problem is, you do have inventory slots, so you're not going to have a whole lot of these items on you. You might as well use them if you got them, because especially with her, she can keep drawing and keep searching, so there's no reason for her to hold on to crap. All right, so just so I can be a man of my word, since we're getting right there at the end of it, we are going to go ahead and get ourselves started real quick with the game. We'll just bust into the first round just to get the vampire hunters in there and see what we're going to do. They get 3 activation or 3 actions each round. There are a list of actions they can do: activate lever, attack, drop items, pick up items, search, activate extractor, dig free, which is like if you get debris on you or something like that, move, or trade. When it comes to move, when you do a move action, you get 2 points of movement. So one area is 1 point. Except if you've got an awake vampire in there with you, they impede your movement, which means it costs twice as much as it normally would. So if there were vampires in this area, it would cost me 2, 4 instead of 1, 2 to move through it. Pretty easy to understand what you're doing with it, but you do need to keep that in mind when you open it, because let's see, if I move one of my guys in here, 1 move action to get there, 2 to open the door, I'd have 1 action left after I had revealed this encounter token. So let's go ahead and do that then. Let's start with my girlfriend here, Miss Sarah, or Miss Emma, excuse me. We'll go 1, 2 to start her off. So she's used 1 movement action to get in, and she does once per turn may perform a free search. We'll do a free search, and this, unlike other games, you can search as many times as you want. I looked, didn't see anything saying there's limited amount of searching. You just can't do it when there's like live vampires around you. Obviously, you're not going to root around in some cupboards when a vampire's trying to drain your neck. So let's have her search. And son of a bitch, as you search, you bump against a pillar in the ceiling, collapses, test your agility. You are trapped by debris. Place a debris token under your miniature and apply the effects. I think she should be okay because it's testing agility, and her agility is 3, or 3 dice. I am rolling my gravity dice. These are my special gravity dice. These are the normal D6s that came with it. These are boring dice. Not going to worry about that. There is one other dice that will come into play. Some weapons are fragile, and this dice has 2 sides that cause breakage. So if you have a weapon that is fragile, none of your starting weapons are, obviously. But if you attack with a fragile weapon, you have to roll this with it just to see if they break. All right, so let's roll here and see if I get at least 4+. I do. Ooh, that was close. So we avoid it. Not a bad deal there, but that was a little irritating to start with. Pain in my ass there. All right, so first action, we'll do second action. Flip this door over to open. And since I've opened it, this token is revealed now. It's the same thing on both sides. It just means you draw an encounter card. So let's draw our encounter card. And we have an Upia. Now, these colors represent how many and what, or not how many, but which vampires are going to be spawned. So you see here it's got green, yellow, and red. If you were playing with 2 vampire hunters, you only do the greens. If you're playing with 3, you do up to the yellows. And if you're playing with 4, you do up to the red. So I'm playing with 3. Pete does not count. I'm just playing with 3. The ones that actually go in the buildings are the ones that will count against you. So both of those are yellow, which means a Upia and a Burrower. Upia is going to appear on 2, which is right there. And the Burrower is going to appear on 3. All right, give me a sec. Let me grab those guys. Okay, so we know we have a couple of vampires. Let me show you guys these real quick, because I think they came out all right. I did quick painting jobs on them. Basically hit them with a black prime and then just dry brushed on either a brown or a gray and a little red around the hands and the mouths just to put a little effect on them. But they came out okay for just a quick paint job, just something to look decent while they're on the table there. Put my hand behind it so you guys can see this guy. Yeah, not too bad for little models. Got a little glistening blood on him. All that good stuff. So our Upir is a Daywalker. Upir, 3 health, 7 initiative, rolls 3 dice, hits on a 5+, and Upirs completely ignore all sunlight effects. That's not cool, man. I can't kill him with sunlight. And our Burrower has 1 shield, 1 health, which means the first hit always is going to be ignored. Got to do at least 2 to take him out. Range of 0, initiative 4, 2 on the dice, and 4 to the hit number. Now, I've got 1 action left with her. Oh, let's see. I could attack, and this is at range 1, so I could attack with that. The thing is if I attack and miss, both of these vampires wake that F up. And that sucks. That would really suck on this. Let me think. Do I want to attack or do I want to get them in first? Now, what kind of sucks is it's not like an I go, you go. It's not a all of mine go and then all the vampires go. It's one of my guys go and then the vampires go. And then one of my guys go and then the vampires go. Because you're going to draw an activation card after each one of your characters go. But Sleeping vampires don't do shit. So maybe I just have her move her happy ass in, and we'll get him positioned to go after this guy, and then we'll attack him on the next turn. That's probably my best bet. So we'll use her last action and go 1, 2. She'll get up here next to this guy. And then we're going to have AK back here go 1, 2, 3. Well, that's a second move action, rather. So he's got 1 action left. And we'll have him do a search. I could have him use the extractor, but I want to try to save it for a more powerful vampire. Plus, if he uses the extractor, it would kill the burrower automatically, but this effer would wake up. And I don't want him to wake up just yet. But if she had killed one, I could get him. Yeah. And what kind of sucks about that, too, when it comes to the extractor, right, is that it's attached to whoever's got it. So he's got it right now. But the harpoon does leave the building. So one of my guys would have to go back to the entrance to get the harpoon back to drag it back in. Don't want to use it just yet. So we're probably going to do that. We'll have them wait to conduct their attacks on the next round. We'll have him finish out with a search action. And he got himself, and let's see what it will be. A drain bazooka. Okay, it takes 3 focus to build this thing, but it's a 6 die attack, 5+ to hit, explosive, loud, and it's fragile, but it hits on 1 to 3. Okay, that's friggin' awesome. And this is where I'm talking about that fragile die coming into it. That anytime you conduct an attack with this, you have to roll that red die, and then the red die can end up costing you the weapon. That's freaking awesome, though. That'll take out everything. The only problem is with these explosive weapons, you can't fire it into an area. Like I couldn't fire it over here and hope for the best, because unless the vampire I was targeting ate all the hits, my guy would take some of the damage as well. So let's say there's a couple of vampires in here. It wouldn't just hit the vampires first. The way the extra hits go is it hits the target, then it hits your characters, and then it hits remaining vampires. So if you've got an area that's just got vampires in it, throw the explosives. But if you've got some of your own guys at close range, don't throw the explosives. So his inventory is full right now. Make sure you keep the card rotated the right way. Yes, I do have it the right way. It is not built yet. When I do build it, I can flip it over. So that completes his. And oh, wait, oops, I forgot to draw a card for her, but I will do that now. We'll just do 2 cards in a row. No big deal. Her card, nothing. Nobody's awake. All the vampires in your area attack you. Nobody's awake. No one moves forward. All right, so basically this, you read it top to bottom, and awake vampires do shit, right? The non-awake vampires do not attack, do not do anything. The top basically has to do in relation to the person who drew it, and the bottom has to do with all the vampires on the board. So this would be in any vampires 3+ areas away. They move 2 areas towards the nearest hunter. Again, none of our vampires are awake, so we don't have to worry about that just yet. Let's get these cards out of the way. And we'll draw one for our other guy. A guardian hides in the shadows. Place a guardian in. Oh no! Son of a monkey's butt. Oh, this is about the worst thing that could happen. Vampires up to 2 areas away move to your area, but no one attacks. So that's about the best that I could hope for, but oh, this is so bad. 3+ areas away, move towards the guy. So I've got to grab a guardian. All right, so I must say I got extremely lucky as far as this was concerned, because most of these cards say, the activation cards say all vampires attack all hunters or the activated hunter. So I would have been getting a lot of attacks going on to my guys right now if I hadn't gotten lucky in the order of those cards being drawn. So I'm still okay at the moment, but they're all primed and ready to go now, and that dropped an extra damn doggy in my room. But the next turn, I can start laying waste and try to take out as many of these guys as I possibly can on the next go-around. All right, so let's finish out real quick with Billy Bob and have him go. Let's see, where we want to go. Maybe we're going to go 1, 2... And going in there, we'll definitely activate this, pull the token off, grab ourselves an encounter card, and a warrior and an Upir up here. Damn, I'm not drawing good. Let's see, that's the item card. Where am I putting mine? All right, and see, this is what I'm talking about. All the damn cards in the area. I've got to keep track of which ones are here, which discarded pile is here, which one is this, and it's just a pain in the butt to keep track of. All right, but now we've got warriors added in as well. 2 health, 0 range, initiative is 6, 3 dice, 5 to hit, so we'll add that to it. That one is the warrior. That one is the Upir. They're very, very similar. But old boy has spent 1 action, and he's got 2 actions left. Now let's see, how do I want to do this? Because what I'm thinking is I got that window right to hell there, and I could fire at that thing and try to kill these guys. See, which way is better? If I shoot at it, I get to roll 5 dice looking for 5s, but if I do my stake fist, it's 4 dice looking for 5s. I got to do 2 hits. So I'm thinking my best bet is to shoot at that thing where I'm at. I could get 2 shots. And since it's silent, doesn't have a noise symbol, it will not wake him. So I basically have 2 chances to try to kill these guys in one go. I'm going to go with that. So let's, give me a sec, move this stuff out of the way. Got my little trays for all my zombies. And we'll grab up our dice. I need to have 2 5 pluses on this attack to break the window. All right, come on. Break the window. That would be great. Break this window. Oh, only 1 5 plus. Damn. Shield blocks it. No good. Second action. See if we draw or do any better. Come on. Bust that window open. Bust that window open. Big money, big money. Papa needs a new bag of sunlight. And don't have to worry about that one because we got the 2 5s, or at least 5 plus. All right, yeah, we got them. So we get to flip this over. We have busted the window open, and the glorious light of God comes in and burns you 2 mofos into dust. So that is +1 for the warrior and +1 for the daywalker. Oop here. Grab myself some focus tokens for. That are these little tokens here. We'll put on his tray. And now he can start using those for Eagle Eye, be able to attack at a farther range. All right, that actually worked out pretty well, Billy Bob. He didn't get as far in as I wanted him to. I wanted him to try to get as far up as possible because I want to get these guys met up and then working together. I hate having some here, some here. He's especially off by himself. But come on, if anyone's going to be off by himself, it's Billy Bob here. See if I can get him focused in. I think Billy Bob came out pretty well. I'm real proud of Billy Bob. All right, so let's draw ourselves an activation card. Nothing bad. Test faith. Pass. Your hunter gains 1 shield to the end of the turn. There's nothing to shield him for. We'll test his faith just to do it. His faith is 1. His faith is crap. He doesn't need the shield anyway because he's not going to get attacked this round. Oh, yay, he's got a shield. Look at that. All right, so rest of the card. He's got a shield for the end of the turn. Now, the green means stalking, so like vampires that are awake but not near my guys, and the red V's mean the vampires that are actively engaged. So up to 2 areas away, move towards you. All the vampires in your area attack you. There are no vampires in his area, so he doesn't get attacked. And then the last one refers to all vampires on the board. Any that are 3+ areas away, move towards the nearest hunter. So none are 3+ areas away. Do not have to worry about that. So that completes our first round. Drew 3 activations, and we did all right. We already had debris fall on us as we were coming in, but we dodged it. And we already had a damn burrow guardian jump out at us. But at least both of my guys are in attack position and did not get attacked. So let's move this forward so we do not forget. We will pick up the next one with these 2 trying to wipe these vampires out and then move into this area. Ooh, and there's something I just noticed about this. There's a door here and a door here. So to get my guys linked up, I've got to get through both of these doors, which means I've got to activate both of these areas to get them together. And then once they're together, they've still got to clear this room and this room, and then this room, and this room to get everything done. But I'm a lot more confident once I get them linked up so they can pool their attacks instead. Ooh, and plus I've got the extractor. Don't forget about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could hit any one of them. He could use the extractor to kill the burrower, and then that's guaranteed, and then focus his attack on the little doggy. And then she could put all of her damage into the oop here. So yeah, that would work out pretty well. Guarantee some kills on this. Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So as you guys can see, this game, it plays quick. It's not hard. This is the beer and pretzels, just fun. Chuck some dice, see if you can kill some damn zombies. Have fun with it type of game, right? You know how these are, similar to Hellboy and all that type of stuff. I just love seeing the miniatures and the boards on the table. I just love games like this. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it just looks awesome to me, and I get a kick out of this stuff. It's a good way to spend the evening, crap like that. Unfortunately, just so many of these damn Kickstarters come out, and there's just no way to back all the ones that you want. I missed the Wolfenstein one recently. I put $1 towards it, and it unfortunately, I just did not have the money to finish it out, so I just had to wave bye-bye to that one. But it did have a big, huge mecha Hitler that I was like, oh man, it'd be so fun to paint that. But oh well, I might try to get it eventually one day down the road. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. You guys stay tuned. I will have some more Conflict of Heroes coming up. I've got some Zeppelin Raider coming up. I've got some Core Space after this that's coming up. And another one, the Space Opera game, that's coming up as well. All right, you guys take care. I will see you in the next one.